Good afternoon to one and all. SQA Rack Center welcomes you all on board for the webinar today conducted on color theory for designers. Let me take a minute to introduce you to myself. I am architect Vijisha Gopalakrishnan and I'm the program head for the Department of Architectural Technology at the SQA Rack Center in UAE. So let's discuss what's going to happen today in the session. Today we'll be discussing about the color theory, what color is all about, how different color combinations help us to create good design, and so on. So when we talk about color, the first thing that we notice is the perception. That is the first thing that comes to our mind. Say, for example, when we look at the sky, the first thing that comes to our mind, the first thing that clicks our eye is the color of the sky, which is blue. So if there is a definition for color, if we have to define color, we would be defining it as a phenomenon in which different wavelengths of different combinations of color is sent to the brain, which means that all the objects that we see around, it reflects light. It reflects light in different combinations of wavelengths. So these wavelengths are picked up by our brains, and then we see the phenomenon that we call it as color. So when we talk about color and color theory, there are certain basic terminologies that we all need to understand about. So starting with the color theory is basically the mixing of colors, how we can mix different colors and create different combinations to give a better visual effect. That is all about color theory. If you look at this image here, you can see the vegetables are arranged in a circular manner, and they are arranged in all these different vegetables are arranged in such a way that it gives us a good aesthetic appeal. So this is one example that we can see about color theory. Now there is something called as color wheel which we need to know. Color wheel is something that we must all have noticed when we have done our drawing elementary sessions in the school, or in the first basic drawing exercises that we do, we learn about the color wheel. So if you need to define a color wheel, it is basically a spectrum of colors which is divided into 12 different sections. So the first section that we know is about the primary colors. Now the primary colors, as we all know, is red, yellow and blue. If you see the image there on the top here, we can see the primary colors. Now the color wheel was something which was invented by Sir Isaac Newton first, and later on it kept on developing. So the one that you see, the latest ones that we see today, is the one that is there in the center with many color combinations that we can see. Now, moving ahead to the primary colors. Primary colors, like I told you, they are a combination of, or they are a mix of blue, red and yellow. Now, these are the purest forms of colors which you cannot mix to any other color to form these colors as such. Secondary colors are the ones that we get by mixing primary colors. So for example, when if I mix blue and red, if I mix red and yellow, likewise, if I mix all these colors, I will get a good combination of a secondary color. Tertiary colors are the ones that we get by mixing the primary and the secondary color. So for example, it is yellow orange, it is red purple, red orange, blue purple. All these are an examples of tertiary colors. Now the color has another word which is hue, H-U-E, hue. Now hue basically means it is the position of the color, or it just means color. It's the base itself. Let's talk about the different color schemes that we see. Now, most of us, we see different color combinations. We see a lot of colors around us, but we do not know certain things which are there behind these combinations. So these combinations are also called as color schemes. So when I talk about color schemes, there are many options that come up. The first one is, let's talk about the monochromatic color scheme. Monochromatics are one single color. Say for example, if you're picking up blue, blue is just one single color which will be seen throughout in this particular scheme. Different shades of blue, right, starting from the dark tone of blue to and gradually moving ahead to the light one, is this comes under the monochromatic combination. Next is the analogous color scheme. Now, analogous are the ones, if you notice, they are the ones which are adjacent to the colors that we choose. Say, for example, if I look at the color wheel, if you see there, you can see that one or two colors are the immediate ones which are there in the color wheel. So, for example, red and orange, red and purple. These are the examples of an analogous color scheme. Moving ahead to the complementary color scheme, these are the ones which are opposite to each other in the color wheel, which is red and green, for example. These are complementary to each other. If you notice, many of our Christmas videos that we see, kind of combination we'll be seeing around the complementary color scheme, the red and the green color scheme. Next is a split complementary color schemes. In this, what happens is there is a variation of the complementary scheme that is paired to choose the color which is adjacent to the color wheel. Now, when I say split complementary, these are the ones which have the highest of the contrast color nature. They are the ones which will stand out more strong, and it will be looking very good in the background if you as a designer plan to choose this as your color scheme. Then you have the triadic color scheme. Triadic color schemes are created with three colors, which are to each other. If you see the color wheel example that I have shown here, you can understand that. You can pick any of these which are at a degree of 120 placed to each other. That's a triadic color scheme. Then you have a tetradic color scheme. Tetradic ones are the complementary color pairs. So the colors that you choose, you need to be a little careful to maintain that balance because they cannot be too dark and neither can be too light. These are certain things when you look around at the color schemes, you need to make sure that you pick up the right choice of colors so that it does not look too loud in your design. For example, if you are a web designer and if you have to design something which is related to a graphic company's website or something of that kind, if you are looking to something of that scale, you need to make sure that your website design is done in such a manner that it doesn't look too loud, it doesn't, I mean, it is not too bright, it's not too dark. So the pick of those colors have to be subtle as well as something which stands out. So it has to be a combination of a contrast color scheme as well as something which will just make the website look very good in its own way. If you see here, I've shown certain examples of the different type of color schemes, the monochromatic color scheme. Here, if you see, it's this just choice of one color which is being picked up, which is the blue color. Then you have the analogous color scheme. In the analogous, if you see, there is a mixture of the purple color, blue color, and slight of a pinkish color. So this is one example which was done for a website, and they have used this kind of a color scheme. So if you see the text that you notice, that also stands out, and it is not too loud also, which makes it a little bit a very good combination to be noticed. Moving on to the complementary one, if you notice, this is about a city's small stamp that they have tried to use it like a graffiti work. Now here, the first thing that you will notice in that color scheme is the orange color that stands out. So the pick of the complementary color that you choose has to be taken in such a way that it stands out, but you also need to make sure that it is not too loud also. Moving to the split complementary, most of these color schemes you will notice it is there in our mobile phones. If you open any of your browsers and you go to any chat or you go to open any tab, any app that you open, you will have these kind of color schemes there. Triadics are a little colorful in nature. So you can use these kind of color schemes when it comes to, where you have to kind of show a little bit of concentration in the design. So the colors provoke a little bit of emotion that it shows to the website and to the design that you are doing. Let's move ahead. Now, like how a body has a temperature, even the color has a temperature. Now, these are the different temperatures that you will see, the cool colors, the warm colors, and the neutral colors. Now, warm colors are the ones which are they are located towards the sides of the color wheels, which is the yellow, orange, and the red color. Cool colors are the ones which are located on the sides of the color wheel, which is, for example, the blue color, the green color. They all come under the cool colors. Neutral colors are the ones which you will not find in the color wheel. The reason being why, because they are the ones which are the purest colors, which means you cannot, if you say, for example, if you take black, if you add in any color, you will not see any different color other than black to it. But whereas if you see white, if you add little bit of color to it, there will be different shades of that particular color. Now brown is a mixture of three different combinations of color, which is red, orange, and little bit of black. Together with that you combine, you get the shade of brown. Now, why is it important to know about these terms in color scheme? Like I told you, hue is basically the name of the color, whichever color. Say, for example, it is green, it is orange, it is red. All these you call it as a hue. Tint is something wherein you put in a pinch of, say, white color. If you add a little bit of white to the color, for example, if you say, if I add a little bit of white to the blue color, what happens is there will be a lot of gradations that we'll be seeing in the blue color in itself. So if you keep on adding white from the dark shade of the blue, it will go on reducing to the lighter shade. Eventually, it will be coming up to a white shade. So that is what tint is about. Tone is where you add a little bit of gray to the color. Now, again, when you add gray, what happens is it will move from the darker version to the lighter versions and so on. And if you keep adding black to any color, that is called as a shade. I hope this is clear to all of you. Any doubt, please let me know at the end of the session when there is a question answer session that is going on. So like I told you, these three things are the most important thing that you need to know about when you talk in terms of colors. One is the tint. Tint is where you add in a white color to the color. Tone is where you add gray. Shade is where you add black. If you see the examples below, you can understand it much more clear. Now, when you try to make a shade in your website, or when you try to make a shade in the design that you create, it kind of creates a contrast, gives you a contrast color combination that you see. And when you add a tint, you need to make sure that the color is not making the design look too dull. So you need to be very careful on the kind of tint and shade that you want to. So be very careful when you try to add in more color combinations to your design. Let's understand what is value, saturation, and chroma. Now, these are something which comes under the properties of a color. Now, when I talk about value, value is the other word is the lightness. So the more the light you put into the color, the more bright it will be. For example, if you see the image here, when take the color pink, when I'm adding white to it, I will see these kind of grades of pink that I can see. Now it starts from the darker pink and then it ends to the light one. So the more amount of light that you put into that particular color, that is called as a value. Saturation is nothing but when there are strong conditions of light. When, say for example, when it is a high saturation, it means your color is very strong, and when it is a low saturation, it means that your color is a little weak and pale. So you try avoiding using these pale colors to your design unless and until if it is complementing to the work that you want to do. Chroma, when I talk about chroma is something where it means it's the purity of the color that you see. So any color or any hue with which has no black, white, gray added to it, that is a chroma. Now, when we see chroma, the thing that we need to understand is that we would rather not choose exactly the same colors, because it will be very difficult otherwise to get that kind of effect that we need for our designs. If you look at the examples, you can understand it much more better. Let's move ahead. Now, something called as an additive and a subtractive color system is very important now that we need to know. Additive color system is where we mix a color with white. Say for example, if you are mixing a red with white, if you are mixing blue with white, if you are mixing green, if you are mixing yellow, any of these colors, if you are mixing with white, that is something called as an additive color. Now, additive colors are basically the ones that we use for our day-to-day work. Like for example, if you're using colors for drawing, you will use an additive color system. Whereas the subtractive color systems are the ones which is a mixture of any color but with a black add-on to it. Now, these kind of color schemes are the ones that we see more often in the printing that we see. Like for example, when we are printing a paper, and we need a color print of the same, we would see a subtractive color system in that, which means we see the colors cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. If any of these tones are less, we get a message immediately in the printer saying that one of these color tones are we are falling short of those colors, so we need to add. So if you see, if we still go to print in one of those missing colors, we won't get a proper print as such. We'll get a very pale print. So in the paint industry and in the printing industry, we use the subtractive color system, which is the CMYK, which is cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. Whereas the additive color systems are the ones that we use more often in the televisions. If you see our televisions, we can see this kind of color scheme, which is the red, green, and blue. Now, what is color harmony and color context? When I talk about color harmony, everything that gives a kind of good aesthetic appeal or something that is standing together like unity, that is color harmony. In color also, there is different harmonies that we need to know. For example, when I spoke about the color schemes are basically the color harmonies. For example, the analogous color scheme. If you see in the first image here, the leaf is kind of showing a analogous color scheme, which means that there is a mix of green color, which is a little darker shade. Then you have a green, which is little yellowish, and then you have a yellow color. So this is one example of an analogous color scheme. Next is the complementary color scheme, in which you have a purple color, which is a little darker version. Then you have a little lighter version of the purple. You have a green, and then you have a very light green. So when you look at these kind of combinations, it's very pleasing and it gives kind of a sense, it gives you an emotion of happiness. When you look at it, you feel very happy about the fact that it's so good to see. Likewise, when you do a design, you need to make sure the color combinations that you pick have to be very apt to your particular work that you do. You cannot have any colors that just go against your work. For example, say if you're trying to use a contrast combination, you need to make sure that the contrast color combination that you choose, the dark color that you choose in the combination has to go well along with any light color. You cannot make it too dark and you cannot make it too light and then spoil the whole color combination. So the color combination is something that you need to be very careful when you do any of your designing work. Now, color harmony, color wheel. Now, color wheel gives us a lot of options about colors. The more tint you keep on adding, you get different set of colors. The more shade that you give, the more color combinations you get. So, there, if you have noticed in the paint, whenever you go to see any paint shop, they'll give you a certain set of flyers where there are a lot of options of colors. So all those options, they all come from the tints, shades, and the tones that we give, which is all from the color wheel, from this particular color wheel itself. But the other thing that we need to know is they all come from this basic primary and the secondary color. Primary colors are the ones which give rise to the secondary ones, and from the secondary and the primary you get the tertiary ones, and likewise you get different kind of color schemes. If you see the third image, this is one color combination which is seen in the nature. This is like an example of a contrast color scheme that I was talking about. If you see the first one, the green leaves, they stand like they give you a set of a kind of a background color to the flower that is standing right in front of those leaves, which is the red color flower. But when you notice, the first thing that you notice is the red color of the flower. So this is like a combination of a contrast color scheme, which is based in nature, which I just gave an example of. Now, you need to understand that there are colors which show different emotions. They depict different kind of emotions. All of them have something to say. Each color has something to say to us. Say, for example, if I talk about, say, the color of white. Now, white is something which stands for purity. It stands for peace. So likewise, each color has a different set of meaning. It has a different emotion. With, for example, orange. Orange is something very energetic in nature. So whenever you see an orange color, you feel very happy, you feel very rejuvenized. So that is one example of how each color talks to us. With all these relations, these are the basic relations that we need to know about colors, and we need to use them properly and very effectively for our design. Now, if you see in the last image here, where I've mentioned that it is a different reading of the same color. Now, what is happening here is the blue and the purple shade. These two boxes, one has the purple shade in it and one has the blue shade in it. Now, what is happening here is, if you see the first image, which is the blue in which there is a purple color inscribed, a rectangle inscribed, that purple color is not that visible. That contrast combination is not going well. Whereas if you see the one which is next to it, the purple one, and which has the blue rectangle inscribed, that stands out more. So that is one example of a color contrast combination. So what I was talking about contrast combination is basically all about this. Similarly to the one in the side, if you see, the one in the blue is not that appealing, or it's not that apt for any kind of a design, but the one next to it is something that is very appealing. Even in those boxes, if you see, in the black box, the red color is the one that stands out. So it is very important for us whenever we look at colors, whenever we try giving any combinations, we need to make sure that certain colors are the ones that stand out. Say, for example, if we need to design if we need to design a logo. Now, in the logo, we need to make sure that the color combinations that we give are perfect and they need to be very precise. If you notice the McDonald's logo, they have used a very good color combination. Similarly, if you see the color combination for Burger King, which has a little bit of blue, which has a little bit of yellow, little bit of red to it. So all these combinations make it a good design. That's the thing that we notice more about those logos. So while using these colors, you need to make sure that they also stand out, but make sure that they are not too loud also, and it spoils the design. So you need to be very careful about these things. Now, when I was talking about the different meanings of color, when I say the red color is something which is very passionate. It is associated with passion. It is associated with strongness. It kind of gives you an aggressive feeling at times, but it basically symbolizes both a good part of it also, as well as a bad part of it also. So it depends on which state of mind you are, and which feel or mood you are in, and you want to pick up that particular combination of color with red too. Okay. Similarly, when I told you about orange kind of gives you a feel of excitement. It is a very motivative color. So designers mostly prefer using the orange color because it gives you a good spirit. It gives you a good creativity. It creates good creativity, and it's more adventurous also. When I talk about yellow, yellow is something which symbolizes sunlight. It symbolizes joy. It symbolizes warmth. So yellow color is the easiest one which is visible. Like you know, it's so bright that you can see it from far also. So something of that kind. Some colors are very bright. So you need to make sure that such bright colors, you use it in a way that they stand like a focal point, like a focus to your design. When I say green, green is often which we see in nature. So it is basically something where you need to, it balances your design. It gives kind of a harmony. It gives a feeling of calmness, and it gives a rejuvenating feeling also. So for design, green colors we use mostly for any product that we are trying to display with, which talks in terms of the nature to it. Moving ahead to the blue color. Blue color is something which is, it incorporates trust. If I have to say, trust is something that when you look at blue color, you will first feel is about trust. Usually it is something which, again, I told you, blue is like a very warm color. It's like a very cool color. Sorry, it's a very cool color. So it kind of gives the users a calm feeling. Now, what happens is certain design, if you use a blue color, it might not fit into that particular category. Why? Because sometimes blue is also a color of sadness. Not all prefer using it also. Like, for example, if we say, when we say that we have to go to work, or when we have to go to college or school after our long weekend, we always say, oh my god, it is a Sunday blue, it's a Monday blue. That's why, because we are cribbing about that color. So it's basically a color which is a little, it kind of has a mixed feeling to it. It can be a happy color, and it also can be a color which makes you feel very sad about. Purple color is something which is associated with royalty and wealth of the choice of design that you do. So, for example, even if, for that matter, if you're choosing any cloth, if you're choosing any fabric for your upholstery thing, or for your sofa, purple is something that you would choose because it's kind of a luxurious color in itself. It has a kind of mystery and magic also which follows to it. So it might distract the mind of a user, but also take the concentration to that particular color. Pink is something which all girls love. Okay, so it's a type of a color which gives you hope. It is sensitivity. It kind of brings in a little bit of love to the design that you do or to the clothes that you wear. Pink is a very feminine color in itself. So that such colors would be more preferably used for designing if your client is a female. Unless if the female client has any other option for colors, then that's a different story. But most of these females clients, they prefer using pink as a color for their design. Brown is a color which is very close to earth, the mother earth. So it's also called as the earth color. So designers commonly use background color as brown, so that it gives you a different kind of shade from light to deep. So brown is a color which you would love to use when you are designing for your product or for any of your work. Black is a color which is a favorite to all, but it's also a color which associates to tragic situations. For example, say death, or something which where you are sorrow, you're sad. That's a color which kind of gives you a feeling of goodness as well as a sorrow color also. So what happens when you use a black color is you need to use a color which also contrasts and sits well with black. For example, in this image here, if you see, the black color is supported by the red color to it. A darker color would always be something very crucial if you use it for designing your website, or if you're doing interior works, if you're using it for your color combination, any of that kind. It has to be in a contrast manner. Black, you can get it supported with the help of red color, with the help of a blue color, with the help of a green color, yellow color. Any color together can give you a good color combination, good contrast when it is done with black. Similarly, when we talk about white, like I told you, it is about purity, it is about innocence. And for example, when you see a blank sheet of paper, okay, and you want to do kind of a scribbling work, or if you want to do kind of a doodling to it, so the thing that comes into your mind, you just start scribbling on the paper. So that's your emotion, that's the feeling that you have. So in design, white is most commonly used as a background color for the resources in which where you have to read. So where there is a reading content, you would prefer using a background which is white in color, and then you can support it with any other color for your text. So all these colors have different meanings which we need to remember Now, when we talk about neutral colors, like I told you, black, gray, brown, white, these are all neutral colors. Now, neutral colors are something which we need to remember to even use it for our design purpose, because they are a kind of a creative color scheme. Now, creative in terms in such a way that it will adjust any color scheme to itself. So, for example, black and white, these are the easiest neutrals that you can add to make any color scheme. So if you are trying to add a little more visual interest to your design, the first thing that you need to do is use a light or a very dark shade of gray in place of white or black. The reason being why, because brown kind of it's like a tricky color. So if you practice using these the brown color, it will be very useful in terms of the design purpose that you do. So it kind of creates a tone and it becomes a very interesting design in itself. Similarly, it is important why we should use shades, tones, and tints. It's only because they all give us a visual effect. They all give a visual interest and also create a balance to their design. So it's very important that when we design something, we understand how shades, how tones, how tints work, and how neutrals also play a very important role to the particular design. Saturation is something that you need to understand because, like I told you, when you design, if you make the design go too bright and too dark, it will be very difficult for the users also to understand, and it will be very difficult for us to see as an audience. So we need to make sure that the color scheme has to be done perfectly. Like when now, if you notice me, I am sitting right at a background which is a little dark. So probably the background might be standing out more to you. So that is some kind of a feature that you see when you design. So color schemes are very important in those particular aspects. Let's move ahead. Okay. If you have any queries, please let me know. So these are the points that you need to remember when you are doing any design work. First is the psychological behavior of color. All the colors have different kind of moods. So according to the mood, we need to make sure that we choose the right color for the right design. And how color is very relative. Like I told you, each color has a meaning. Each color is related to us. For some of us, some color is a favorite color. For some of us, we don't like certain colors. But for some, we just use color for a design purpose. Likewise, so color is relative. Okay, then for example, these neon colors, all these bright colors, if you put it along with a darker shade, the neon colors are the ones which will stand out. So that is like an example of an unconventional color. The neon colors are an unconventional color. So it is something that will catch your eyes first. So that is something which is and it's an important aspect in design. Color which has a cultural significance, like I told you, each color has a meaning. White, for example, it is about purity, it is about simplicity, it is about innocence. Okay, white is also an example for most of the part in Asia. It is like when someone is passed away, someone is expired, you would use white color to depict that. So it is also some colors are very culturally significant, some are each color has its own meaning. Okay, now the color wheel that I spoke about, it follows a thumb rule, which is the 30-60-10 thumb rule, which means that 60% of the color wheel is the primary color, 30% is the secondary color, and the 10% that you see is the remaining adjacent colors. Now, 60% of primary color, that in itself talks about how primary colors are the purest forms of colors. So you cannot mix any other color to get the primary color. Whereas if you mix the primary colors, you get the secondary colors and the tertiary colors and so on. So this is the thumb rule that the color wheel follows. So I have ended the session for the day. If any of you have any question answers, please let's start with it. And there is a small quiz that I have prepared. If you could just fill it up, that will be great. Anybody has anything to ask, any queries, anything that you need to know?
Hi Vijisha, the queries are actually at the end question and answer session. If you can see those questions, you can please read out and answer those questions. Or if you want us to read, that also fine. You just see question and answer sessions.
Okay, I will just see. Someone has asked me the difference between tint and tone. So like I told you, tint is wherein you add a bit of white, and tone is wherein you add, like, if I'll just show you the image, make it more clear for you if you have just joined in late or. Okay, so tint is where like I told you, it's the addition of a white color, white to any color, and tone is the addition of gray to any color. I hope your doubt is clear. Anybody else has queries?
One question is, what type art is this for web designing?
Okay, now whoever has asked this question, the type of art you mean to say in terms of the colors or in terms of the graffiti works that you see for the web designing? If you could just clear that also. Now, I'll just give you a gist about it. In web designing, the main thing that we see is the color combination. The first thing that will catch your eyes is the color combination. So you need to pick the right colors and have a good color scheme. When it comes to graffiti work, which is the art work that we use for web designing, you need to select certain graffiti works which complement the background also, and it also complements to your website that you are talking about. Say for example, if your website is related to, if your brand is related to any clothing brand, so it needs to relate. So all those have an interrelationship with each other. I hope your query is clear. Anybody else?
Another is like a difference between a flat color and a non-flat color. Kavya is asking this.
Okay, flat and a non-flat color is basically the saturation of the color, and like how dark it is and how light it is. So that is one example of a flat and a non-flat color. Say when I talk about say the pink color, so from dark to light version, that is an example of a flat color. Like the chrome color, the chroma that I spoke about, that's one example of flat and non-flat color.
Okay, another question is, whenever I finish a design of building, say house, during
Okay.
rendering, when it comes to using color, at that time, how to decide with the help of a color theory as to which scheme to use or which colors to use?
Okay, when you are designing a building, say if you are talking about the external facade of the building, that's the outer part. For those of you who don't know what is a facade, facade is basically the exterior of the building, the wall, the exterior wall of the building. Now, certain colors, certain buildings that you see, they follow a color scheme, which is a dark color scheme or a light color scheme. So depending on the client or depending on the choice of your client, you would need to decide which color you would prefer using. You want to go for a dark color combination, or you want to go for a light color combination. If you ask me as an architect, I would rather not want to go for anything which is very dark and it stands out. Like for most of the places in South India, if you see, they use a color combination in their houses which are very dark and vibrant in color, because that is how their culture is. for most of us, we prefer using subtle colors. We don't want too much of dark happening in around our apartments or around our building. So we prefer using a light color.
Thank you, Vijisha.
Have I missed on to anyone's queries? Is there
Yes,
anything?
there are many. Do
I'll just
different cultures, yeah, do different cultures have different perception of for same color?
Yes, they do. They do have. Like I told you, in Asia, white color, it has a symbol of peace. Along with that, it also has a significance towards sorrow. Likewise, black is something in most of the countries we rather prefer using black only for the clothes that we wear, but not as or for designing any website as such. But not if you would not see any black color building or anything of those kinds. Rather, you would see a lighter grayish color buildings around. So, like I told you, culture also plays a very important role in deciding on what color you want to choose.
Another is like regarding children's. So what type of colors are liked by children? Can different shapes and form when colored with the same color have different impact on mind?
Okay, children prefer, when you talk about children, they prefer looking at light colors more. For example, pink, light blue. For them, bright colors are the ones which are very, attractive. That catches their eye first. Even for that matter, if you see infants also, they say that infants only catch colors. So the colors which are very bright and light, they are the ones that catch the eye first. But again, if I say girls, they prefer using more of pink, boys prefer using more of black, but it can also have a change. It can be vice versa also. It depends on the person and the choice of his or his own taste or her own taste for design or for the color. Kavya has asked whether color theory should be considered while decorating a classroom. Yes, it is very important because classroom, when it comes to classroom designing, it is something wherein you spend like around 6 to 8 hours of your entire day. So you cannot have a color which, kind of makes you feel very dull. So it has to be a very bright and an energetic color. So color theory has to be an important part of your when you design a classroom for school kids or even for college students for that matter. Anybody else? Okay, someone has asked what kind of color, warm or cool, should we use for nature product? For nature products, see, you can use some color combination which has to do with green or with a bit of yellow and orange also. So these are the colors that you would go. Even for that matter, if you choose a neutral color like brown, like I told you, earth color, that's also one good option for any nature product that you want to endorse to.
Someone has asked how are analogous and monochromatic color different? If you can see. Uh,
Anybody else has anything to ask?
yes, Vijisha. Someone has asked about the difference between analogous and monochromatic color.
Okay, like I told you, analogous color schemes are the ones which are the colors are like next to the color wheel. The immediate colors that you see next to the color wheels are the analogous color schemes. And analogous and monochromatic. Monochromatic is basically a color scheme wherein you pick just one particular color, which is, say, for example, if I pick red color. So all my designing, all my drawings, everything has to do with that particular red color. So from the dark version of the red color to the lighter version of the red color till it turns white, that is an example of a monochromatic color scheme.
And all these terms, someone has asked like these terms, what you have used, tone, tint, and hue. The same we are using in photography also?
In photography, when we talk about tint and tone, there is a little difference. This is more related towards the designing aspect as such.
Okay, one I think we have left with, is orange a complementary color?
Yes, it is. I hope it's clear. Okay, someone has asked why is pink considered a feminine color and why blue is more of a masculine color. Okay, pink is because women or females they get more attracted towards the lighter colors. Not all of them though. Now most of us have a different concept or different liking towards colors. But initially, if you see, it's always been like that. Pink is a color which women or girls love to see around, even in their rooms, in their dresses, or anywhere. And blue is, of course, for the boys. Anybody else?
Rehab has asked, like, as an architect, what are the most preferred color combinations you can prefer?
Okay, now as an architect, if I have to choose any color combination for my particular residential building for the facade, I would think about using a cladding work which is done in brown, shades of brown, or some colors which are in gray, so that it kind of gives you that effect of steel.
Okay, so we have missed some brown shade. Okay, wait.
Brown question, what is it?
Yeah, there's one. Can you please ask this question again?
Yeah.
Because we
Can you?
just missed this question. There are many questions. Can you please ask this question again? That brown color question. Yeah. If brown is a mixture, many color combination, then why is it a pure and neutral color? Is it because of the emotion it conveys?
No, it is not because the emotion that it contains. Now, brown is actually a combination of black, red, orange together, and a little bit of yellow also. That is how you get the color brown. And it is more related to the color of the earth, which is the color of the mud that we see. So, if you talk about the emotion as such, yes, a little bit emotion related to the the feeling that you see when you see nature, when you see Mother Earth as such. When you talk about Mother Earth, that or when you talk about soil, so that color plays a little bit of emotion in that particular aspect. But yes, it's a mixture of these three colors, and it's a neutral color. You cannot call it like a color which is very dull, or a color which is not apt for your design purpose.
Rehab just asked that does these color being dark or light apply to different moments in life?
Yes, it does. It does apply. It is all about the emotions that we have, or it all depends on the mood that we have. All of us have mood swings. Some of us would like certain colors in some days. Some of us will get bored of that particular color. So it all depends on our mood and all our emotions. Rehab has also, I think I've cleared that query. Someone has asked, can use of color in any way turn our plans into something different? See, plans, if you're talking in terms of designing, it will not change as such. It will not make any change in your design, but yes, it will kind of create an impact to the presentation that you are giving.
Yeah, Vijisha, another question. Is color theory used in a textile, like fashion
Yes,
designing?
yes, it's also used in fashion designing. Like I told you, for web designing, fashion designing, interiors, architecture, visual arts and communication, photography, all these, they all use the print media, all of them use color theory. It's the basic and the most important thing that we first study. It's like when we say about color theory, it's like an element of art. They all come under art. All these courses come under art. So it's an element of art, color theory. So we need to make sure that we understand these aspects well so that it helps us more in designing. Okay, someone has asked about certain colors that we use in our each room. Now, if I have to talk about the living room is something wherein you want your guest to come, sit, relax, have a good time. When you sit at your leisure time, also in your living room, watching TV around. So, living room, you can prefer certain light colors, but you can also, if you want to create a kind of an impact, of you want to create a focal point, or if you want to create a focus to one particular kind of a design in your living room, then you can have a contrast color combination. Say, for example, in my living room, if I have a white wall, but I have certain photo frames which I need to make sure that it's standing out and it's the first thing that catches my eye. So what I can do is that photo frame, I can arrange it in such a way, maybe just have that particular background in another color, say red color or any other color, and then place my frames in that background. So that will kind of give a good impact to your design. Bedrooms are somewhere like, you would prefer going only to sleep, or, you just, when you're tired and you just want to lie down or have, read a book, something of that kind, when you just want to relax, or so that in those particular rooms as such, you would not prefer using very dark colors. Now, unless if someone had actually asked, is which color is known as a romantic color for bedroom. Now, it all depends on the choice of the taste of that particular person. Some of them would like to have a red color in their bedroom, but not that very bright, but rather they would have a texture paint in itself, some kind of a design in that particular red color, which creates, a warm and a romantic feeling as such. Any other queries?
Yeah, in the meantime, I request all participants if they just attend this quiz on color theory.
Someone had asked about what are vintage colors. Now, vintage colors are like, they are different shades of one particular color, or different tints of one particular color. Say, for example, if I talk about pink, now there are different shades and tints in pink itself. There is a delicate pink, there is a dark pink, there's a magenta pink. So, delicate pink is something which will come under a vintage color. Most of these light colors, which are very pleasant and pleasing to see, they are vintage colors. Any other queries? Kavya has also asked, can there be color preferences by age? Yes, you can have color preferences by age. Our parents might not like the color that we like. Similarly, our grandparents would not like more of bright colors or dark colors. They would rather go in for a very subtle color. So yes, preferences according to age for color also changes.
A very good question. I just one. Colors are said to be mood reflective, like blue for peace, red for intensity. But as you talk about a house, I don't see. in a single room just for the purpose of a single mood, how we balance it?
Okay, that's a very good question. Now, house is something where, of course, you are also there, and then you will have a lot of visitors also dropping in and out. So, certain color schemes that we love, we would love to have it in our house, but that may not go well along with the guest that we have. So, it is our choice, it is our mood according to how we want to design. So, I don't think that has to do any thing related to how we balance our color scheme is more important, and how we perceive it or how we love it, that's how it has to be.
Vijisha, one question on from I think grade 10, someone is asking to move on with graphical designing. Which subject should we opt for grade 11 and 12?
Uh, in your grade 11th and 12th, I don't think you would have anything apart from IT or arts that would help you more to get into any graphical designing field. So anything, any subject which has art and IT in it, you can opt for that. IT, not the detailed IT as such, but yeah, a little bit of basics for the graphical designing that you need to know. Someone has asked what is an accent color. Accent color is something which kind of creates, you want to create more emphasis to your design. That is an accent color. So they are the ones which are darker, they are more darker shades of colors. So that is an example, that is an accent color. For example, most of these furnitures nowadays that you see, like these colors which are yellow, bright, dark yellow, they are some examples of accent colors. They are also, you can also call them as warm colors, accent colors. Yeah. Someone has asked, Ayan has asked, is there any color which can symbolize all the moods of a human being? There is not just one single color. There are many color that can depict the moods of human beings. For someone, the quiz link is not working.
Okay, there's one question. If I can draw well on a paper, but not so well digitally, can I still become a good architect?
Yes, you can. I personally am not good at drawing, but I am an architect, so you can be. You need to have the knowledge of technical details in architecture. And now everything is there on software, so it's become more easy. So you don't have to worry if you don't know drawing.
Someone has asked, black is a color, right? White is a color, but black and white TV is not a color TV.
That is because, like I told you, the initially we used to have black and white. After the colors started coming in, when we started using the additive color schemes, that's how the black and white system went away for TV. But we have it in the printer. Only thing is the CMYK thing is also there. The subtractive color is still there in that. The CMYK is the cyan, magenta, yellow, and the black color.
Yeah, Vijisha, there's a question. Like suppose after 10th grade in 11th and 12th, we don't have that much graphical subjects, right? So is there
Yeah.
any options like you go for an architect and is there any another options you can go for a architecture, technology or a construction designing?
Okay, so we have diploma programs in architecture technology in our institute. So in where we have grade 10 students who are with us. So architectural technology, what we are teaching them is basically the mix of technology and architecture together, combined together. So what they learn is the different materials that are used for constructing buildings, the different kind of materials that you can use for interior purposes, and the different kind of construction process and how construction is done on site. For example, if you see any construction site today, what is the different techniques that they use? So all that is being taught in this particular program. So you can do a diploma program after your 10th in architectural technology, and then you can pursue your higher education to the first or the second year, depending on your grade, to any of the UK universities in UAE, or even you can go to Europe if you plan to go for your higher education. Someone had asked what emotion does silver and gold convey. Okay, so these are the color. These two are metallic colors as such. So they are. When I talk about silver, it is more associated towards the sensitivity, and gold is more towards the richness and the possessive kind of a nature that it shows. Uh, Someone has asked, does golden symbolize luxury as purple? Yes, it does. Golden also symbolizes luxury as a.
Kavya has also asked about the scope for graphic designing in the upcoming years.
Graphic designing is a very good field. It is just not related to website designing as such. Nowadays, there are graphic designing which happen in almost all the fields. Like, for example, if you have a business of your own and if you want to create some kind of a brochure or some kind of a pamphlet or a flyer, you would want a graphic designer to come into picture to give more ideas related to the logos or related to the how the page has to be designed, how you want it to be. For example, even in architecture, if you see, there is a lot of graffiti works that happen. There are a lot of drawings and there are a lot of artwork that are done around in buildings to attract that particular building. It stands out. So graphic designing does have a lot of scope. Okay, someone is in the final year of thesis and is doing designing a skyscraper and is using glass as the external facade. So, what role will color play in it, or how can I use color to better my design? Now, when you are designing a glass facade, there are not much that you can do with the colors. The only color that you can probably see is the blue color. So the blue color, when, for example, if sun is hitting to that, when sun is hitting to the glass, how that reflection is falling onto the building and how that color kind of stands out, that is something that you can take care of. So you cannot have too much of a dark blue also. The color has to be in such a way that it is mild but yet very attractive. So you need to give that transparent finish also. Any other queries which we've missed out or?
Yes, Vijisha. Someone asked, will graphic designing help me in 3D modeling?
3D modeling is a different aspect. 3D modeling, it can be a part of graphic designing, but it is more useful when you are trying to, showcase your object or you're trying to showcase a design work, for example, any building or any product, then it is more apt. If you're doing graphic designing for any product, then yes, then it is a good thing that you learn about 3D modeling also.
Okay, anonymous. If it is good if you people if they can write name, but anyways, it's fine. We are getting very good questions. One question is, do you think the passion of drawing can lead us to only architect?
Not really. You can be an architect, you can be an interior designer, you can be a web designer, you can be a graphic designer.
Okay.
All these categories come under designing only. Animation, that's also part of designing.
Same person has asked, do you think digital architect is a good choice if we have passion of drawing?
Yes, it is, because now everything is going digital. So yes, digital architecture has a good scope and it's a good choice of study also. So what happens in digital architecture is basically you learn more about different softwares and how you need to incorporate those softwares for your particular design that you do.
And also some are asking about the scope of interior designing in UAE. Is there any scope in UAE? Like what are the scope where they can go if they do digital this interior designing or architecture?
Okay, so architecture and interior designing, they both go hand in hand. These both courses go hand in hand, and which is of a great demand all over the world. Because unless you design a house, you cannot live in. Unless you do the interior works for that particular house, nothing works in. So these two fields have good scope in future. Is there any query? Other queries? Have we cleared?
I'm just making an announcement whether they have any other questions which we have missed out, so they can just ask us again, right?
Okay. Okay. Someone has said the session was really amazing and appreciates the hard work. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. Color theory in itself, let me just add on, it's like a vast topic in itself. Okay, and since most of the crowd that we have today are 10th graders, if I get too much into the technical details, it will be too much for them. So I have kept very basic uh, things which are related to the color theory. Some of us know about this, some of us don't know.
Okay, there's one question. What is the difference between graphic designing and UX designer?
Okay, graphic designing is it's more of an artwork that you do. So it's like, you know, logo designing and all, they are all part of graphic designing. And UX designing is more related to the website. Graphic designing can be a part of the UX design also.
Another question is, do you prefer logos to be made with a lot of colors or with few?
Logos, you add too many colors, it would kind of turn out to be a little shabby, and it won't, you know, it won't give that effect also. It won't stand out more. So the less number of colors that you use, it's always better for logo design. If you notice, most of the logos are they are all basically in two tones of colors only.
So Rowena is asking, do you think study of color is required for making logo too?
Yes, it is. It is very important to understand how color combinations work, how what color is good for which kind of logo that you want to do. So it is very important to learn about colors. I will do one thing. I will just drop in my email ID if in case you have any queries more to ask, you can always
Yes, they are also asking
contact me.
whether you can share your PPT also, what you
Sure,
have.
sure. I will share my PPT also. I will just put in my email ID. Do any of you are interested to get the PPT or have any other queries, please just contact me. I'll always be available for you. That's my email ID. I hope all of you have done the quiz.
Someone wants your help to creating a website. So they're not able to understand whether which colors they have to use. So I think they'll contact you. Yes.
Yeah, sure, anytime. Someone has asked whether exterior trim should be lighter or darker than walls. It is preferred, it depends on the color that your wall, the color that you have given to your wall. So, like I told you, a contrast color scheme would always be the best in such scenarios.
And also for game developer, does color theory matter?
It does
Habil is
matter.
asking.
Yeah, it does matter. See, for gaming, it's more of the visual effect that you are trying to give to your user. So if you just keep everything in one color, it would be very boring. So it's always better that you know, given more color options. So it's good that you know about color theory. So you can pick up the right colors to make your game. Is there any other query? Or else we can just conclude with the session for the day.
Yes, I think we can conclude the session, and if they have any inquiries, they can contact you and they can mail you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for being a part of the webinar. It was a pleasure having all of you around. And if you have anything, any query, anything related to ask about, please feel free to contact me. I have mentioned my email ID. Please feel free to contact for any queries in future. Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening.